Yo amici di Videoludica, benvenuti in questo nuovo episodio, sono io in solitaria, in questo nuovo formato, tra l'altro mi vedrete in giro per lo schermo. E poco fa stavo decidendo cosa giocare perché insomma se ho un po' di tempo libero oggi. Ho visto questo Stanley Parable che è lì da un sacco di tempo, che tanti me lo consigliano e che comunque io stesso volevo giocare da tanto. E allora ecco, così un gameplay abbastanza improvvisato ma che magari a qualcuno può interessare. Allora, io non so niente di questo gioco,
This is
so
the
solo...
story of a man
Ne
named
parliamo dopo.
Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-ending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Beh, immagino quando
And then
possa
one
essere
day,
felice.
something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
In pratica la voce narrante ci dice anche quello che dobbiamo fare, quindi dobbiamo uscire dalla stanza che però non si apre. Dobbiamo cliccare in giro. Perché si sposta? Spostare. Obiettivo completato, non puoi saltare. Molto bene. Proviamo a ricaricare il gioco. Ecco, adesso è aperta la porta.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
The fuck? Beh, è bello però sto gioco che quindi ti prende anche un po' in giro.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Ottimo, ho spento il computer perché c'è nessuno. Proviamo ad aprire qualche porta. Niente. Andiamo avanti. Qui cosa c'è? Niente. Spegniamo quest'altro computer che Gli sprechi a noi non piacciono. Qualche lettera, non so, qualche easter.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Waiting input. No, schiacciare i tasti a caso. Input. C'è da dire che sto computer è strano perché non ha i tasti di accensione come gli altri. Username, ma questo non era acceso prima. Deve essere spento. Secondo me questi computer qua in giro fanno qualcosa. No. Potrei anche sbagliarmi, Calpestiamoli. Vabbè, non succede niente, andiamo avanti allora. Anche se qualcosa sicuramente c'è. Vabbè, andiamo avanti.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Non ho sentito quello che diceva. Credo di aver capito a sinistra, però mi ha colto un po' di sorpresa.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Cambiano le diapositive, però. Bello, interessante. Che te posso... Niente, andiamo avanti allora. Broom closet. Andiamo nel magazzino.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Niente, ci dice che non sono questi droidi che stiamo cercando. Quindi andiamo avanti.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Allora, ci dice di andare su dal nostro capo, motivo per cui noi adesso andiamo giù, giustamente. Vediamo se c'è qualcosa. Bella sta luce rossa, mi piace. Sta molto bene.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
2,000 years later.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Bellissima la voce narrante comunque, mi piace veramente un sacco.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man.
Bene, a quanto pare abbiamo completato una parte del
All of his
gioco.
co-workers were gone. What could it
Il gioco
mean?
ricomincia. come
Stanley
più o
decided
meno
to
me
go to the meeting
l'aspettavo.
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Ah, visto. Ci avrei giurato che qualcosa sarebbe cambiato. E non a caso, questo computer è sostanzialmente identico a quest'altro, perché non ha pulsanti sopra, non ha altre cose come per esempio questo. Spegniamolo ancora, va? E voglio vedere cosa fanno questi computer, quindi adesso direi che ancora non vado dal boss a, diciamo, a completare la storia, quindi giochiamo un po' in un modo...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Stavolta andiamo a destra.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Cosa abbiamo capito finora di questo gioco? Niente.
Yes, truly a room worth
Niente.
admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Allora, ci dice di andare nella prima porta aperta a sinistra. Sti cazzi, andiamo dritto.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Come sono trasgri. Cos'è? Questo scende?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Non l'ha presa molto bene che l'abbiamo, diciamo, snobbato così. Abbiamo rovinato il momento di gloria.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Questa volta gli diamo retta.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Run. Here, let me show you.
Osti, un po' inquietante, eh? Andiamo?
Here, yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Mettiamoci qua vicino. Lolliamo. Se rientriamo cosa succede?
No, wait. Where are you going? Right. Where were we?
Ricomincia da capo. Beh, direi di andare adesso.
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Ma io voglio che il gioco ricominci, voglio vedere cosa succede schiacciando quei computer, voglio vedere altre zone.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Ci tuffiamo? Facciamoli indietro, là.
No!
Strano che questa voce parli al plurale, come se fossimo noi. Forse la nostra coscienza. Questa potrebbe essere la volta definitiva,
Suicide. Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Allora, in questo momento abbiamo capito tante cose riguardo questa voce.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
Stavolta il messaggio è cambiato. Praticamente questa voce non ci dice più che siamo, diciamo, tristi. Per essere rimasti soli in ufficio, ma praticamente è contenta stavolta, ci dice...
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Vediamo se stavolta... No, le porte sono sempre chiuse. Per ora.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Stavolta andiamo dal capo, dai. Vediamo che cosa succede. E comunque non ho più trovato il computer con il messaggio.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Sai che ti faccio? Questi sono i cessi.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Andiamo. È tutta una mega metafora su quella che è la scelta.
This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Adesso allora facciamo escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
È abbastanza infinito come corridoio, Però guarda la nebbia volumetrica, che bella, guarda che bella. Bella. Ha una bella grafica sto gioco, è essenziale però ben curata. Gli
The
ambienti
door behind
sono
him was not shut.
belli.
Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Ah, dice che qui moriremo. Pazienza. Cos'è, un tritacarne?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Vabbè, è stato molto bello. Andiamo a vedere.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant,
Non mi posso
Stanley
muovere.
was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Boom, the
And yet
Stanley
it would be just a
Parable.
few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Fatemi inquadrare bene la scritta che questa sarà la copertina del video e anche lo sfondo del mio computer.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Questa è la piantina dell'ufficio.
Mi dispiace, non ho trovato nessun dispositivo chiamato ufficio.
Va bene. The two doors. Ma andiamoci a leggere i cartelli, vediamo cosa c'è scritto.
No.
Bottom sounds selection. Schiacciamoli. Questo qua è il mausoleo dei creatori del gioco. Filing cabinets. Spegniamoli tutti, perché di sì. Si possono riaccendere. Si sono riaccesi. Vediamo per quante volte si spengono e si riaccendono. E vediamo soprattutto se c'è un achievement per questo.
A few moments later.
Vabbè, andiamo avanti. Stanley Parable. Direi di andare... No, dov'era? Di qua. Direi di andare verso questa... chiamiamola fine. Con la stanza buia. Exit. Andiamo di qua.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Allora, stavolta andiamo ancora dritto.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Però stavolta andiamo...
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Parla di una lei, ma... magari è quella donna di prima che ci aveva visti morire per strada? Porca.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Mi acceca tutto sto bianco.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we
427 è la
go.
porta del nostro
All right,
ufficio, o
now,
sbaglio?
I want you to come in and tell me all about your...
Oddio.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Impiegato premi 1 sulla tastiera.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Premi P, ma se non lo facessi? Niente, non si può.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do.
Z per dire Tomoyo
But there is no
tanto non
answer.
esiste mia
How could there
moglie.
possibly be?
2 per andare a
And I'm
dormire.
trying to tell him this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Per andare a lavoro la mattina, beh, ci dice di non farlo, quindi vediamo. Premi I, ma io non lo farò. No, non lo premo quel pulsante, non lo premo.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Premi O per non fare domande. No, io voglio fare le domande invece. Aspettiamo. Io schiaccio.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I
Beh, quindi il lavoro uccide. Abbiamo capito solo questo. Allora, finalmente qualcuno ha dato una pulita. Attenzione, c'è un telefono. Dov'è?
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Proviamo ad andare di qua.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Sono andata a sinistra, mi spiace. Caricamento.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
A destra.
No,
vedi qua.
not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see, we went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way. No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Bene, quindi il gioco ricomincia ancora e ricomincerà per tantissime altre volte, ma per motivi di tempo
All of
direi
his
che...
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Vabbè, direi che questo episodio finisce qui. Questo era così. Uno sfizio che ho voluto registrare.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No,
What?
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Beh, direi che questo è il motivo per cui Stanley Parable è molto apprezzato ed è il motivo per cui penso che non finirò mai di giocarlo. No, queste due portano dalla stessa parte. Questa è la stessa. Direi che è finita
I'll
qua.
say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot, why not?
No, ci ha ricchiccati all'inizio. Vabbè, quindi questa è la mia primissima avventura con Stanley Parable. Spero che vi siate divertiti, spero che vi sia piaciuto anche questo nuovo stile mai visto. Perlomeno, vabbè, in videoludica è una cosa nuova. E appuntamento al martedì e venerdì, sempre con i gameplay di videoludica. A volte ci sono io, a volte ci sono anche Simone e Marco, quindi seguiteci e